So let us see the authentication process. So here we are using, in this particular case we are using the session key. So how exactly it takes place, let us see there. So consider two parties A and B. A is going to send the identity of A, that is represented by A, and also he is going to choose the random number RA, and party B is going to encrypt the RA value using the session key, that is represented by K. Okay, so here one more value also he is going to encrypt, that is RB value and SB value. SB is nothing but the secret key of B. Okay, so encrypt both the messages, that is RA value as well as RB value as well as the secret key. So this encrypted values are being sent from party B to party A side. So now party A is going to again send back the RB value, that means he is going to decrypt the RB value here at this end, and he is going to receive the original message. So that same value he will be sending back to form the mutual authentication. That's why RB is being sent back to party B side. So again the session key or SA, that is secret key, that is represented by SA, he is going to send back to party B side. Okay, he is going to encrypt the secret key and he is going to send it to party B. So this is using of secret key cryptography in case of authentication, mutual authentication. The next diagram shows the usage of public key cryptography in case of authentication. So let us again consider two parties, party A and B, but here we are going to use the public key information. So usually we say that in a digital certificate we have a public key information. So that's why party A is going to send the identity of A, that means the sender information, and also identity of B, and also the RA value that is chosen from RA party A side. And the other thing is he is going to send here is A certificate, or you say in the A certificate, A's digital certificate, there will be public key information. So actually he wants to send the public key information to party B. So now party B will be sending back the same message, that is A value. You can see that A is again repeated here, RA also is being repeated, and the random number that is chosen by party B is also he is going to send. But the other thing, SB value, that means secret key, whenever he sends to party A side, he is going to encrypt that secret key using the public key of party A side. So A.pu represents A's public key. Okay, and totally this particular information he is going to sign it, okay, using the private key of party B. So that's why this is in the rectangular box bracket. Okay, so that is with suffix B, you can see. So this is the total document his party B has signed. Okay, and also B's public key information is going to send, that is through B's certificate. So you can see that in the second message. So at the third step, you can see that party A is going to send the particular message, that is B identity B information and RB value, and also the encrypted SA value is being sent to party B using so when secret key of A is being sent, he is going to encrypt the value using the public key information of B. Okay, so B's public key, using B's public key he is going to encrypt the secret key of A, and this total document is again signed by party A side. So this is the total thing that is going to be sent to party B. So this is mutual authentication in case of this is the third case. Okay, so let us see usage of timestamps. So again there are two things, that is party A and B. A wants to communicate with B, but how he is going to communicate, let us see. So nonces are the timestamps, stamping a message with the current time. So why this is needed? Because if you know the time, you can understand the freshness of the particular message or the nouns. Okay, so whenever the two parties are going to communicate with each other, they are going to choose a nonce value or the random value, the new random value. So if they have if the random number has got a timestamp, okay, that will represent the freshness of the nonce, or this current time it has been produced. Okay, it is not a old nonce. Okay, so that you will be understanding here. So that is how that mutual authentication with the help of timestamp happens here. Is party A is going to send the information, identity of A, to whom it has to be sent, that is represented by B. Okay, identity of B, and also the timestamp that is represented by TA. Okay, A inserts the timestamp TA in his message and he is going to send that, and he asks the other to sign it. Okay, that is he asks the party B to sign that particular document now. Okay, and also A is going to send the A certificate to party B. If he sends the digital certificate to B, that means he is sending the public key of A. Okay, public key of A is being sent to party B through A's certificate. So now B receives the particular message. He receives and he reads that message, and he will be getting the public key information. So A.pu is represented here. Okay, that means he has party B has received the A.pu or A's public key through the digital certificate of A. Okay, so that is being received. So the total message, or you can say that the identity A, B, and the timestamp that is represented by TA plus 1, okay, comma SA or the secret key of B, everything is being sent, okay, to party B, but it is being signed by party B again. Okay, and also party B is going to send the B's certificate back to A. So he actually, in the second step, the party B increments the received timestamp and he inserts it into the his response of the message to A, and he signs the message. So this is the thing.